Well, I was actually kind of forced to be a VA at first. That was how I started.
Being a virtual assistant is a very dynamic position and career in life. When I was a child, I could still remember that whenever my mom takes me to her office, because she is a principal, I always collect the scratches of paper that she is about to throw. And I always write my name there and then sign it. And then I act like her secretary. And then I tell her that you have a meeting with this, you have a meeting with this person, you have to do this task, mom. And then that's where my mom told me that you could be my secretary when you grow up, because she hates it when I was a child and I'm acting like a secretary because I'm so messy. I even wrote something on a formal paper that she will submit. So that makes her so angry. And I told her that someday I'll be a secretary and I'll do things in a proper way. And then she told me, okay, by then I can allow you here in my office. And that inspired me, and I saw myself that someday I'll be a secretary. In this world wherein I learned how to become a computer literate, and I'm so excellent when it comes to a lot of different computer skills, I adapted the secretary and my computer skills. I combined both of them. And then I decided to be, okay, a virtual assistant is possible. So I can be a secretary online. That's why I decided to be a virtual assistant.
To be completely honest, being a VA is not my priority at that time. Graduating from college during the pandemic is such a blur. In the Philippines, there has been a freeze in terms of hiring. So I wasn't able to apply for jobs because no one is accepting applicants at that time. So my sister told me, CJ, why don't you try virtual assisting? Because it's just a work from home. You don't have to leave. It's very safe. So I decided to try that. I entered a training institution for virtual assistants in the Philippines. And from then on, I became a virtual assistant. After almost 1 year, I'm still working as a virtual assistant. And I don't think I could go back to the usual corporate setting.
At first, I made a decision after I passed the board exam, as I took the licensed professional teaching exam here in the Philippines. After the exam, I decided to wait and think that how can I make money while inside our home? And that's when being a VA comes to my mind. I graduated as a teacher, but while waiting so that I can go to public and teach as a teacher, I decided to work as a VA and try my luck online. And currently, I'm lucky and fortunate that I became not successful, but I'm just a top rising talent from Upwork as a freelancer.
I decided to become a VA for me to have a financial gain aside from being a student. So I would like to really earn money before I graduate, and also to acquire knowledge and skills that are necessary for me to have before I graduate. I go to a university, so I'm currently a Bachelor of Science in Applied Physics student, major in optics and instrumentation. So I'm really fond of researching and writing articles. That is why I think that's the base or the foundation of my skills as a virtual assistant. I started to offer my services as commissions when I was in college. And during the pandemic broke, I realized that I can use it for the career that I want.
Well, I was actually kind of forced to be a VA at first because I was asked by my sister to assist her with her website design side job back then, but now it's like a full-on business of hers. So that was how I started, and as the years passed, I actually really enjoyed being a VA, especially because I was able to help my sister and other entrepreneurs to do their jobs and focus on their jobs more, while I offload more of the tasks that are actually not that relevant for them, but is actually very crucial for their business as well.
In the very first place, I was just curious on how things were in this career because I was just looking for a sideline because I want to help my parents. When I got into this job, I was excited and grateful that my client accepted me right away.
I already researched about it for like more than a year. So there is no COVID yet. So I just being started to motivate myself and see the perks and the cons, pros and cons of being a freelance VA. And during the pandemic, working from home as a corporate person is so much more toxic than working in an office. And that's what pushed me to leave my corporate job.
Prior to me working as a VA, I am working as a customer support representative to several US campaigns already. And that has been my career for 5 years, I guess, for more than 5 years already. So in the height of the pandemic, I decided to jump ship. The first reason is that because it allows me to work safely inside the comfort of my home. Since as we all know, pandemic has really hit us hard, and at first it was really a safety issue. But then again, as I became a VA, I have noticed the difference. What I'm actually yearning when I was still a customer service representative would be the personal touch or the personal relationship that you would be able to build between me and my clients. And that's something that I wasn't able to feel during my time when I was still a customer service representative, because it's just a one-time interaction. Once that you get their concerns resolved, that's it. Whereas working as a VA, I was able to build a good working relationship with my clients. I was able to work side by side with them. I guess it's really a fulfillment that it's like you become a part of their success by assisting them with what they do.
First, being in the comfort of my own home, I want to look after my family, especially I already have a kid and I'm already a wife. So it's hard to juggle things around if I'm in the corporate office job, and it's also a pandemic because of that. And it's enjoyable since I do have a flexi time most of the time. So a lot of employers, especially coming from the US or any part of the world, they gave a lot of flexi time for us. They already know that we are doing our best every time to juggle things around, and they value our time.
I work in corporate for like 10 years already. And if you don't know, traffic here in the Philippines is every day it's heavy traffic. So preparation, going to work, it will take 2 hours. And then another 2 hours going home. So it's like 4 hours of your life every day is missing. And when the pandemic hits, I'd like to just stay at home. So I started applying online.
I am a government employee, and it's quite toxic actually to work in the government. And so I try to venture out to other field or area, since I am also exposed to being online, since I have been an ESL teacher for quite a while now. And then so I have tried browsing on Facebook, and I found out that VA is actually existing. It interests me since you have opportunity to work at home, and then you also have opportunity to manage your own time if given a chance. And also the pay is actually good compared to being a government employee.
First thing that piqued my interest as to why I started becoming a VA is, one is the comfort of working from home. So I really like that part. I can, make coffee whenever I wanted to. So it's very good for me. And the second thing is, I feel like virtual assistants is the future of the call center industry as well, because there's a couple of call centers already that are transitioning to more of an AI stage. I'm not going to specifics as to what company it is, but there have been some companies that implemented a new AI instead of employing call center agents. So I think it's going downhill. To the VAs, I feel like it's very stable in an upward trajectory, and I feel like this is going to be the new normal for the industry as well. So why not hop in while early, right?
Well, I decided to become a VA when the pandemic actually started. I was actually recently employed in a corporate job, and then the pandemic actually started. And I, as a new employee in the corporate world, I had to be laid off from that job. And after that incident, I was able to find a virtual job. And from then on, I quite enjoy my time working as a virtual assistant during the pandemic. And it made me motivated, and it made me work more during the pandemic. You know, a lot of people have been depressed during the pandemic because everyone was actually staying at home. There's nothing else to do aside from doing the chores and all that stuff. But with this job, I was actually motivated to cope up with staying at home depression. And I believe it made me realize that working from home is an opportunity for me to venture out and to grow as a person as well.
It's kind of long story. Before I started VA, I first worked as a travel agency for 6 years, and during that time, I was looking for a career growth. You know, I know working as a VA is more flexible, and I think in terms of earning money, you have a bigger opportunity. So during my work as a travel agency, I was like thinking of about virtual assistant, but I don't have any idea. So when I resigned, I became a tour guide. Pandemic happened. That's why I reconsider really focusing on being a virtual assistant. It's just a perfect timing. There are a lot of people also transitioning into this type of work. So I also have a previous client from a tour, which became my client as a virtual assistant. So that's the story of my journey as a virtual assistant.
Honestly, it took me a hard time to choose this career because my real profession is a licensed professional teacher. But in the Philippines, we don't have enough salary for that kind of job. So I've decided to choose virtual assistant as my part-time job.
Before, I was working in a skincare clinic. Most of my clients there, they told me that they're working from home, doing like this virtual assistant job. I was really interested. I asked them if how to be like them, because they told me about the income that they have. It's really nice to be working at home and you have that kind of income. It's really amazing.
Actually, it was a friend of mine who encouraged me to start a job as a virtual administrative assistant, a freelancer. We were workmates in the BPO industry. Her boss then was looking for another client. So she invited me to join them. So I said, okay, I'll give it a try. It was a part-time job for 4 hours with the real estate industry as a cold caller appointment setter. Actually, I was enjoying the job then, but then it was just a short stint. So right after that, I decided not to look for a job in the corporate world anymore. And I started looking for a freelancing job as a virtual assistant.
As I was in a journey of looking for a career that I think would fit me, I noticed that many of the people that I used to know working in the BPO industry decided to like switch to becoming a VA. So I was really curious. I wanted to find out what's going on, what's the reason why they chose to work from home. And little did I know, I was already decided looking or applying, submitting my application to different VA agencies in the Philippines here, and found out the advantages of being a VA. So the fact that I have more time for myself, I don't have to commute, I get more income every month, and at the same time, working as a VA gives you a lot of opportunity to raise yourself as professionally and personally. Oh, I'm sorry. BPO is it's a call center.
I ultimately decided to become a virtual assistant because I wanted to really spend more time with my family rather than having to go to
commuting from office to work. So that's why I decided to be a virtual assistant.
First, because of the convenience. I just gave birth 2 years ago, so I have a baby. So what made me decide is to look for a work that would be available to be worked at home, and of course with the same background with the work that I'm doing from past 15 years as a medical transcriptionist. I looked for a job that would suit my skills, and fortunately I applied from a local job engine and someone told me that it suits my qualification. That's why it's the best thing I've decided for my whole life.
I don't have to go to the office working 8 hours a day. I'm very lucky that my company allowed me to work remotely. So it's more of conveniency.
I decided to become a VA since this pandemic happened. I want to be honest because when working from home, you are really in a comfort of your home. So no struggle when it comes to transportation, no struggle when it comes to heavy traffic. Because here in the Philippines, even though you're working part-time, if you are experiencing heavy traffic, it seems like you are working full-time. I know and I do believe that with all the experience that I gained or I earned from working in a hospitality industry, I became motivated to enhance my skills virtually. So I used to communicate with different types of people virtually, and I enjoy it. I'm having fun being a VA. Even though I'm just a VA for almost a year, I decided to become a VA because it became my passion.
After I graduated, actually, I tried working in private companies, in government agencies, and I realized that I want to work on my own terms, having my own time, not dreading to wake up in 6 a.m. in the morning, dragging myself to get up. So I decided to work from home so I can, handle my own time. I can wake up whenever I want to. I will not race myself into traffic, and I have more time for myself.
I was influenced by my mom because my mom is also learning how to be a virtual assistant and keep on applying on different agencies. And also, I started watching YouTube vlogs about virtual assistant and different courses like data entry, social media management, and all that stuff. I got interested and then decided to apply in different agency also. And I also tried applying on Upwork. I started to study my niche or what is my main skill. Since I came from a customer service company, I started making it as one of my skills. And also since I got hired in a agency, I was once also a social media management, so I just combined that two skills, which is customer service and social media management. Then after that one, I learned how to be a graphic designer, but just not the really deep graphic designing, just the basic ones. After that one, I was motivated to apply and I was talking with different clients. So up until now, I'm still looking for other clients in different countries.
Actually, I was in the business before. I had an event management services, and unfortunately, the pandemic hit, and I thought about a way to sustain myself. And I've thought of becoming a virtual assistant because it's a remote work and it's a pandemic proof career wherein you don't have to go outside and it's really convenient and it's really safe from the virus.